Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? Well, just a quick shot of the cheeky chickens this morning. They've not been too bad, actually. The cats have been playing up more this morning rather than the chickens. They're all staying down there eating the grass seed that Yanni's been laying basically on the area over there. He's actually been very industrious this morning. He's been out. He's also cropped all the hedging around there, which looks really, really nice at the moment. As for the weather today, I think the weather's on the turn. Absolutely beautiful first thing in the morning. Blue skies, a little bit of cloud, although we are forecast for rain for the next 2 days. But we will see if it turns up. We're in a bit of a bubble here in regards weather in Macardo. We seem to have our own little weather system that can vary greatly to other areas across the island here of Zakynthos. Anyway, there you go. Beautiful looking weather. Lots been going on in the last 24 hours. I've got a lot of news for you as well about what's going on. As you're probably aware, we are now into day 8 of the lockdown. Can I just remind people that this blog is now also shared on Greece Bulletin Board, and I share that via YouTube, where once I record a show, it goes up onto YouTube and then obviously shared to them. And on YouTube, you can get all the blogs of all I've done. It's also a quick way to find stuff if you want to question anything or cross-reference something. But mainly, most of the views, to be honest, are going through my live blog here in Zakynthos and going out, obviously. But anyway, just thought I'd let you know. And if you do go onto YouTube, like and subscribe, all right? Trying to make that little channel grow at the moment, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Right, what's been going on in the last 24 hours? Right, first of all, in the last 24 hours, COVID infections have gone up yet again. We've had 3,038 new cases in Greece. That brings the running total now to 69,675. Now, a 57-year-old foreign woman living in Zakynthos who went to the hospital yesterday, she tested positive for COVID-19 after being treated. After being tested. The woman had mild symptoms. She decided to take herself to the hospital in the afternoon, where she did actually confirmatively test positive. And it's from the local reports, she was then sent home to self-isolate, obviously, for 14 days. Anyway, we've had 10 new COVID cases in Curfew within the last 24 hours. And there's also been one COVID case in Kefalonia as well, a new one there. So all in all, it's looking interesting on the infection rates. Unfortunately, yesterday we had 38 new deaths. That was down on the day before, but that brings the total up to 997 deaths since the pandemic started. And the average age of most of those people was around about 79 years of age, also with underlying health conditions as well. Anyway, critical cases in hospital, they're looking quite serious at the moment. There's 336 people who are actually being 336 people actually being put into the ICUs at the moment. 236 of those are male, while 100 of those are female. Now, the average age of critical patients at the moment, they're saying, is about 65 years of age. Of which 81% are that age. There were reports yesterday, I did say to you, that doctors were concerned that the age limit was coming down to people in their 40s, and they did also have somebody who was 18 who also was in a critical way in one of the ICUs. But at the moment, the ICU beds is of an issue at the moment, and 336 people are being incubated at the moment. Now, the Greek Prime Minister, Mr. Mitsotakis, confirmed yesterday that more than 25 million doses of vaccine against COVID-19 should start to be delivered in Greece in early 2021. Now, the Prime Minister stated that the vaccines will be free for all citizens. I've got to be honest, I'm not too keen to put anything in my arm at the moment, the way things are looking. But I leave that down to you as personal choice, and we're not going to be forced to have it. Anyway, it was also announced yesterday that due to critical situation regards both the rising infection rates and deaths, especially in northern Greece. An extension of the lockdown up until December the 10th is already a likely possibility, with stricter measures regarding travel. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen to that. However, a further measure in the closure of schools has been decided, and that came in last night, and that will start from Monday. Although primary schools, they're not a primary hotbed of coronavirus, but it's basically protecting the mums and dads taking the kids to the school gate and dropping the kids off. In my experience of being a lollipop man for a short while outside a Greek school, I can tell you now, if mum and dad could drive the kids into the classroom in the car, and this was long before COVID, trust me, they would. All right, so that's the reason why the kids are still going. The schools are being closed, even though the kids are not really at risk. It's more of the mums and dads taking the kids down there as well. At the moment, there's no information as to whether this decision will apply to kindergartens and nurseries. Maybe something more will come out over the day. We'll wait and see. Anyway, as you're probably aware, last night was the first night of the curfew that came in. Just to remind people that the curfew in Greece at the moment is 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. However, talking to my mate Wiggy in Cyprus, their curfew is from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. So we actually get that extra hour, which is quite nice. And the only reason that you're allowed out of your house is for medical reasons, i.e. taking somebody to the hospital or for a medical emergency. If you're going to work, all right, you should have special paperwork to say that you're going to work through those times. And you're also allowed to exercise your pet, but only close to your home. And once again, don't forget, you still have to book out on 1330. And it's codes 1 for medical and code 6 for exercising your dog or exercising outside, all right? And again, if you get stopped and you haven't got those codes in, it could be a €300 fine for yourself, all right? Anyway, and the other change as well to the curfews is that supermarkets will now close at 20:30 instead of 9 o'clock, 2100, and the supermarkets are not going to be open on Sundays as they have been. So there you go, a little reminder for you. Also, interestingly, yesterday, Fraport announced its arrivals to Zakynthos Airport during October, which approached an 80% decrease to the island. According to the statistics released this week, the reduction was at 79.5%. Now, analytically, in October, we had only 16,105 arrivals and departures. That's people passing through the airport. I know was I one of those in October? No, I was November, wasn't I? I think when I went, I can't remember when I went away. But anyway, when you compare that to what it was last year, that in October last year, we had 78,536 people passing through the airport. You can see that is quite a significant drop in traffic coming through the airport. Anyway, the overall decline for the whole of the year from January in traffic passing through the airport also was a staggering 76.6%. And that was from international flights. So the effect that has had on, with the pandemic on the tourism market is only further highlighted with the figures from Fraport. And Fraport, for those people, are not the owners, but shall we say, the tenants of the airport. They own about 17 or tenancy of 17 airports around Greece. I've been to meetings of Fraport in the past, and they're always very interesting, the meetings at Fraport. And obviously, they're the people who've invested a heck of a lot of money into Greek airports and have really pushed a lot of the Greek airports forward. Zakynthos was lucky because we didn't need to have a new airport built, as ours was relatively new. So therefore, they spent, I think, €13 million just rehashing the airport, and they managed to find 45% more space to do stuff in the airport as well. And I know that they had to rebuild the airports in Corfu and also Kefalonia, which again cost them more money. So we were quite cheap in the outwards of it. But however, they still want to make money from the airports. They get pay, or the Greek government gets a bounty of €1 per journey of everybody passing in. €1 is paid, passing out, €1 is paid, and that all goes to the central government. So let's hope next year we see a big increase in flights and people arriving, obviously. Something else I found which might be of interest to certain people. Yesterday when we were out and about, we weren't out and about, but we went to do our shop, we ran into people at Lidl. Great place to meet people, Lidl here in Zakynthos. And we were talking to people from various companies and holiday companies. Some people had lost their jobs. Some people were umming and ahhing as to what was going on, where they were going to get their ECA this year. But something that did come across my path was that last week there was an application for a program, which probably a lot of people didn't know about this, called the Support to Small and Very Small Enterprises Affected by COVID-19 across the Ionian island region. There's a mouthful for you. Anyway, the program actually aims to support companies affected by the pandemic with up to €30,000 each, all right, paying out to small businesses. Now, the programme, despite the ambitious efforts, was by the local press described as problematic from the beginning, as it has a small budget of only €14 million for right across the Ionian region, which when they sat and did the maths said that they would only probably help about 467 companies in the whole of the area. Now, they also said that the algorithm used to calculate the scores excluded very small companies that do not employ staff or employ up to 10 people, resulting in high scores for companies, obviously, that employ more staff. Now, it awards premiums to companies that did not show revenues in the second quarter of 2020 compared to companies that operated in June and even had a smaller amount of revenue. So what they're saying is that the system for calculating who should get the money obviously needs to be looked at. Now, yesterday a press release was put forward that the programme budget was going to be raised to €30 million, so that might help people. However, they said that it's necessary to strengthen very small companies that constitute the majority of companies in the region. So it's your small little companies that are probably also going to need the help the most. Now, they also said that the larger companies, it was easier for them to get across the banking system. They also been boosted by larger amounts as well, rather than refundable deposits. So in other words, they've been getting loans. So they've suggested, this is the local media here, to modify the programme by setting the maximum aid limit to the amount of €10,000 so that more companies are relieved. And that is a total of 3,000 at regional level to meet their imminent needs. So they're saying a €10,000 input of cash could probably help a lot of small businesses survive. Not sure whether that's also including things like small rooms. People are renting apartments. We have a friend in the Peloponnese who didn't qualify for a help out because basically their expenses were not over €10,000 a year, which meant that they could then qualify on a programme that was being running over in the Peloponnese. However, they've also said that they think there should also be an extension for applications that should at least run through till the 10th of December so that everybody who has tried one time can have another go to see if they could be eligible for this €10,000 grant that's been given to people. So again, it's very important that small businesses do survive. One good thing that has been done here and probably across Greece, I know, is that like Lidl are not selling durable goods because obviously the smaller shops that would normally be selling those type of goods are shut and closed and obviously can't compete now with Lidl. So they kind of leveled the playing field in certain respects by stopping durable goods being sold so that the smaller shops, when they are eventually allowed to reopen, obviously can reopen. Also as well, quite a little interesting story as well. The Holy Synod of the Church of Greece has asked the government or the Prime Minister to allow church services for 10 days during the Christmas holidays. However, they would perform to strict adherence to all necessary health precautions. The news was revealed actually during a Facebook podcast by the Metropolitan Synod, the Metropolitan of Near Ionia, who is a member of the Holy Synod. He said, we see that the mental state of people being put through at risk because of fear and because of the conditions of confinement, which is why the Church of Greece sent a letter to the government. He said, relationship with God helps people spiritually and is mentally strengthening. The Metropolitan admitted that developments with the virus in the next month will also have to be considered. Regarding Holy Communion, he pointed out that this is a matter of personal faith and that it is not mandatory and no one is forced to participate, adding that it does not transmit viruses but eternal life. By that, he's meaning when you receive Holy Communion at a church, it will be safe to do so. It's your choice whether you have it or not. I'm not sure how they do Holy Communion in a Greek Orthodox church. I'm just doing my Catholic experience, but it's your choice whether you participate of it or not, and I don't think God would mind if you don't have it. Anyway, let's have a quick look who's tuning in this morning. Not too many people in this morning. Tracy M. Mitchell is looking in. Nice to have you with us. Carl Haynes is watching as well. Stephen Mason is watching. Mike Gatley is watching as well. Mike, I've got to be honest, there's a great little Facebook page which is Dogs That Need Owns. If you are looking to adopt an animal, go and check out Mike's little Facebook page. He'll put details probably. Mike, put some details just below in the comments column if anybody wants to approach you about taking a dog for home. I know Mike does a lot for the strays here on the island as well. Tracy M. Mitchell says, morning, it's black in Cornwall. Oh, cheers, Tracy. Well, at the moment, it's just starting to get black. Steve Hinkling is tuning in as well. Mike says a warning, Amber Lockerbie last night. I will check on that. All right. I've just had a bit of a message from Mike here. He says, Amber Lockerbie last night, a small white van at 3:30 was patrolling our road, which is a private road in the dead of night. Drove off when he saw me. No legitimate reason he was there, so please be alert. Cheers for that, Mike. Once again, just to remind you, crime still happens here on Zakynthos. Burglary in Pacific with these times on at the moment. People will be trying to case the joints. I'm really surprised that somebody was out at 3:30 at night in a van when you consider we've actually got a lockdown in progress and a curfew in place. Once again, just be on your guard, especially you people who are living in areas which are quite remote. Just be on your guard. Make sure you lock your doors. Make sure you lock your windows. And make sure you got your mobile to hand just in case you need to phone for help or something like that. Or you got a big stick, all right? And make lots of noise because most of these people are cowardly. They'll just clear off if there's a chance that somebody sees them, all right? And if you've got a camera, if you can get a picture or get some kind of idea or a car registration number, do so you can always pass that on to the police, because trust me, the police know who these characters are, that is for sure. Anyway, cheers for that, fella. I appreciate that little bit of a heads up. Sharon Gormley is watching as well. Nice to have you looking in, Sharon. Andy Orchard is watching as well. Steve Hinkling says, Galimera, hope you have a good day. We hope so as well. We're not doing anything, we're just in the house because we've done our shopping this week. Dennis Patrick Carroll over there in Cyprus is tuning in as well. Nice to have you watching. You've got a longer lockdown than us. You've got to be in by 8. We've got to be in by 9. Sounds like kids going out to play, doesn't it? Sam Curtis is watching as well. Hello, Sam. How are you? You actually remind me, Sam, yesterday's show is now up and online. So once again, if you want to tune in, and listen to the show from yesterday. Once again, just to remind you that my next show is next Tuesday, the 17th, not on Wednesday, simply because it's Jane's birthday on Wednesday. And so we just want a free afternoon, no worries about news or music or anything, just on the balcony. We were out yesterday, not only in Lidl, but also we've got an Iceland here in Zakynthos, for those people who weren't aware, and we were buying some goodies from Zakynthos as well, so we're going to have a little a little private party, just the two of us on the balcony, with the door firmly shut so the cats can't get in, all right, so that we can enjoy our little buffet on the balcony with the sun setting, glass of wine. Although I've got to be honest, looking at the weather forecast, it's not looking good at the moment. It's forecasting rain for there. Oh, and just a bit of late news for you, just a quick one for you. There is going to be a public sector strike by ADI. They're the union for the public sector. That's going to be on November 26th. They're basically demanding protective measures for employees and mass hirings in the health sector. So you might find your ECA payments and stuff like that may be delayed a bit longer because they're on strike. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the health sector gets more people working in it at the moment. Anyway, that's it from me. I will probably see you tomorrow with more news about what's going on. Quick shout out to Austria. Thomas Ganzer, nice to have you tuning in. Susie is also tuning in. Susie Angus tuning in from Birmingham. Andy Reid is watching as well. Raffridge buddy, nice to see you there, sir. Denise Granger's also tuning in. Also, Tim Crystal's tuning in as well. Nice to have you tuned. Tim the King from Oxford tuning in. So that's it from me. I'm now going to go off and make some breakfast. You enjoy your day wherever you are. Enjoy the sun. If you're here in Zakynthos, the clouds are now looking grim, I've got to be honest. And I will catch you tomorrow. You take care and have a great day.